We thank you for staying with us on the show up to this moment. Now, the National Population Commission, NPC, says Nigeria is on the path of delivering a population census that will stand the test of time as the Commission commences its nationwide enumeration area demarcation exercise. Joining us now is Alhaji Nasir Isa Kwara, is the Chairman, National Population Commission. So we thank you for being with us here this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigeria.
All right. Also joining this conversation is Prince Joseph Ogunshino. He is Director in charge of cartography at the Population Commission. Prince Ogunshino, delighted to have you with us on the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay.
Gentlemen, you're welcome to the program. Well, we are talking about another census this time around, and of course, we know what happens when it is time for census, demarcation, and other processes that we'll have to pass through before we get we've got to get into the counting proper. We have had a lot of issues when it comes to census in this country, starting from the very beginning, and many Nigerians are looking forward not to, begin to experience such situations that we had in the past. Now, give us an idea of what NPC has put in place, that will of course separate the process now from the process we had in the past that of course brought in some discrepancies and disbelief in the actual result of the census.
Okay, thank you very much. The National Population Commission has introduced new technologies. We're using ICT in the process of this enumeration area demarcation. We have developed an in-house software that we use. Instead of using paper and ink, we use just a tablet, and our demarcators go around starting from local government levels. We go to ward levels, we go to village areas, numbering houses, demarcating the areas where the enumerators can handle the exercise within the time allotted to them during the census. So we have been doing this, I think, for the past 3-4 years, and we're doing it in phases, and with each phase we improve on what we do. And like I just said, now we don't use ink and paper, we use tablets, and within a very short time we're able to demarcate areas with accuracy, and there are satellite imageries for everyone to see for himself the area demarcated, and that becomes the frame even when we're doing census, or when we're doing surveys, or when we're doing birth registration. Becomes the national frame for us.
Well, I just wonder, Mr. Chairman, what has been your experience as the chair of the Population Commission? I mean, of course, you talked about the demarcation exercise, but overall, what has been your experience, and what is your vision? I'm asking this question against the background of what we all know, that the last national population census we had was in 2006, and this is 14 years later.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. Since we had the last census, it's now 15 years, and let's say we're late by about 5 years. We should have had this census about 5 years ago. Somehow, it is not for Population Commission to say, look, I'll go ahead and do census unless you get the nod of the political head in the country. So, all along, I think the nod has not been quite forthcoming, but we're making fresh moves to get the approval of Mr. President to make a proclamation that we're going to conduct a census in the country. My vision is actually to position the National Population Commission in such a way that it will deliver on its mandate without any hitches. In the past, we have sort of suffered neglect, sort of. Not much attention is paid to Population Commission, not much funding is being given to them. But these days, we've met representation at the highest quarters, and we thank God Mr. President has approved enough funding at least for us to finish this enumeration demarcation exercise. And we're hoping that we'll take off from there after the exercise. We hope to finish it second quarter next year by the grace of God.
All right, Prince Ogunshino, talk about the capacity of NPC staff, and let us know what the plans are with respect to how you intend to carry out this operation, knowing full well that it's going to be a nationwide operation. All right, it's not anything very easy, to accomplish. Otherwise, we don't have lost 5 years. We would have had this 5 years ago, but not because of the some encumbrances and of course the complexity of organizing a census that may have made it difficult for us to have it 5 years ago. And also considering the fact that we're not in a country where we have proper data, where you can depend on data, especially like death rate, birth rates, and what have you, to be able to determine population. We don't have such records at the moment. Now, how does the NPC intend to cope, assuming you're now going to the operation proper?
Well, we in the commission, we have the capacity. We are just waiting for the government to say that this is the year we'll do census. But in the interim, government has given us enough fund to start the preparation, which is enumeration area demarcation. And just like what my honorable chairman just said, we are finishing the whole country between now and second quarter next year, that is around June. And over the year, because of this, we're supposed to have done census maybe about 3, 4, 5 years ago. But along the line, it's still a blessing in disguise because we have built a lot of capacity. Just now, we have concluded the training of trainers concerning the enumeration area demarcation. Ongoing in the state right now is the training of field functionaries. And even in between, we've been doing a lot of births and deaths registration. We have automated all our vital registration and services system. So we are doing a lot in the commission. We have the capacity. We are ready. It's just to get the nod from the government. Thank you.
So, Prince Ogunshino, a couple of years ago on Good Morning Nigeria, we had some officials from the Population Commission discussing the same issue around EAD, that's the enumeration area demarcation, as a prelude to a full-blown population census. And the question then arises, how long does it take to conclude EAD? EAD is not a full census on its own, it's just demarcating areas. And here we are, 2 years or more later, we're still talking about EAD. What's happening?
Yeah, well, thank you. We are here with a good and better news now, because the last time that I was part of the team that came here that time, government was just giving us money, in a small, the way we can, not enough. But now we have been given enough money to complete enumeration area demarcation. So because that time we could only do a phase, maybe in a year, we were able to just do a phase, which may be 37 local government. But presently, we have segmented or divided the remaining 514 local governments into about 5 phases, but we have the fund to just run from the beginning to the end. So the issue now is that the time to complete now is just between 6 and 9 months, which by God's grace, between June and August next year, we are done with enumeration area demarcation. Then it remains census proper, which we are just waiting for government to say, go to the field and count the people.
It looks curious, Kieran, isn't it?
Yeah.
That at the time we had the last national population census, 2006, the security situation in the country wasn't exactly the same as we are seeing now. In fact, radically different from what we are seeing today. So while you are doing your EAD and preparing for a census, I'm just wondering how you're going to, I don't know, cover the country, northeast and now northwest. We are seeing all kinds of things. Is that likely to be a hindrance, or you might also use your satellite mapping for advantage, Chairman?
Thank you very much, Kingsley. I think, let me just expatiate on what he explained. The enumeration area demarcation is a capital intensive project requiring a lot of funding. So in the past, the funding was not forthcoming as expected. But now government has come to support us completely, and that's why the pace is increasing, and we're hoping that in the next 6 months we'll be able to accomplish the task of demarcating the entire 704 local governments. Well, the security situation is actually a source of concern for, in fact, every Nigerian. But what we're doing as a strategy now is to go to those areas that are safe to demarcate. So we're selecting those areas, isolating them, and demarcating them. We are also liaising with our security agents. Anytime we're getting to those areas, we normally write formally to inform them. We will be going to their formations, and they should try and provide security. The state governments too, we solicit their support to provide logistics as well as security, and enlighten public too about our activities. Now, when we go to the volatile areas, I think we will engage the top level officials of security to get their buy-in, so that they can support us wherever our functionaries are, to make sure we carry out the exercise successfully.
When you complain, or rather indicate that the commission until now was, as it were, under-resourced, I was just wondering, does the National Assembly, the House of Reps and or Senate, do they have committees on population census? And if they do, did the commission on its own make its own pitch for better funding, and therefore understanding from the lawmakers, and so that you get better appropriation? And all the complaints previously, as you said, would not have arisen in the first instance. Do you have the understanding or appreciation of members of the National Assembly as to the significance of the work you are supposed to do?
Yes, we have committees on population and national identity. We are very good with the members of the committee, and we carry them along whatever we do. I guess it's just, let me say, paucity of fund. That's why government could not support then. But now, we've made strong cases for them to support us, and they will carry everybody along, including the National Assembly members, to make sure we get the support of government to carry out this very important exercise. Data is very, very important. Every part of the world, data is the key thing. Without data, you can't make a meaningful planning. So Nigeria must not be left behind. It's good to have our acts right and get data and plan very well for the development of this country.
Are you going to be working in synergy, with other agencies, that are also into data collection? Because we have a lot of data collection agencies in this country who have also operated in this very society, same society that you're going to carry out a census. So is there any collaboration between you and NIMS, for instance, and banks, NIMS, even operators of GSM and all of that? Should there be a kind of a coordination, because you are still having all this data on us, Nigerians? I mean, we just have one set of Nigerians, in this country. So is there going to be any kind of collaboration? Are you going all out, on your own, to do this all alone as MPC?
Okay, thank you very much. I just assumed office in the past month, 1 month, and since my assumption of office, I've actually drawn my program for interfacing with all these data generating agencies and data users as well. So not quite long ago, I met with Minister for ICT and digital economy in collaboration with the DG of NIMSI and NITDA. They are going to support us where technology is concerned. I met with the Statistician General, and I solicited his support from top level to the functionaries. We need to collaborate. We are not really competing. We are supposed to be collaborating to assist the country with data for them and for the policymakers to plan very well. So I intend to extend this to many others too, as this go by.
Well, Prince Ogunshino, yes, I know, of course, you are in charge of cartography, but of course, you should attend your management meeting where a number of these issues are being discussed. Namely, the other very critical functions of the Population Commission, registration of birth and death. Again, on Good Morning Nigeria, some while back, we had a conversation around the credibility of data, particularly for passages, that's to say for deaths. Because there are some communities in the country where unfortunately people die and no autopsy is performed and burials just take place, and there's no reporting, and yet you are supposed to have your officials in local government areas to take this data into their records, but in the number of villages, we understand that this goes on regularly. And one of the key points that was identified was insufficient interface by way of communication to those communities on the necessity of reporting whatever occurs, birth or death in their localities. What has changed or what is still ongoing?
Yeah, the commission, we are trying our best when it comes to the issue of vital registrations. We have registration centers in all the local governments. We have in the communities all the health facilities, maybe general hospitals, then even the palaces of Obas in the communities, and we have people that gives us information, and at the same time we capture the data. But the beauty of the whole thing is that it's in the past it used to be the analog way, but right now we have automated the whole processes. So Nigeria will have a better delivery from us when it comes to vital sciences. Yes, sometimes people find it difficult to report the issues of death, maybe because of the circumstances, but we will try our best to, do better. But with the automation, and so that the processes is simpler and be faster this time around. So
What's your observation about here?
Before now, where your staff on ground in local government areas across the nation, have to get these records because they may not actually depend on persons to give the information. If they're on ground, I mean, I don't know the spread anyway, but if they're on ground in council areas in this country, they should be able to have their own record of deaths and beds, as Kinsley has asked earlier.
We are in every local government, all the 774 local governments headquarters, the secretariats of the 774 local government. Then we are in all the general hospitals and the health facilities in the whole country. So the issue is that, as I've said, the reporting processes between what happened to the people and us is just the little something, but we are trying our best to improve on the registration.
Okay, well, thank you, Prince Ogunshino. Let's return to the chairman, Alhaji Kwara. Well, still on the issue of funding, I know that parasitas will never tire of asking for more funds. Who are ordinarily supposed to be the funders of the Population Commission? Is it solely a federal government responsibility, considering that the end product of your activities are available, to all and sundry?
Yes. Thank you very much. I just want to help out more and to be more frank with you on the issue of birth registration and death registration. It is easier to register births, and the performance of National Population Commission is a lot better when it comes to birth registration. But death registration, like you said, the circumstance of death is not something you would want to celebrate or report. Some are so distressed that they will not even want to provide the information. So to get even stakeholders to provide that information, I think I was discussing strategy with one of the ministers. He said maybe we should get some small stipend that we can give to, for instance, in the case of a church, when you are doing burial, the church officiates. In the case of Muslims, imams officiate. So maybe if you can get some token to be given to those officials so they can be providing information, that will be helpful, but the cost is going to be heavy because Nigeria is very large. So those are things that we're still tinkering with, maybe to approach government with this proposal. If we want to really get it right, it will even lessen the cost of doing census from one period to another if we're very, very good with civic registration. Then the issue of funding, yes, population matters are essentially in the exclusive list of the federal government. They fund the activities of National Population Commission. But like you said, data is used by all and sundry, but we expect, like we normally get from international community, the international donor agencies, some private organizations, and even states and local governments, they should provide support. They should support. The responsibility falls squarely on the federal government, but I think the others of national agency government should also provide support to National Population Commission to accomplish its mandate.
Are you soliciting for this support, or you just believing that they are on their own will willingly give you support? Are you soliciting for any support from these quarters you mentioned now?
In the case of state governments, any time we're carrying out any exercise in a state, we do a formal letter to the governor soliciting support in essentially the area of publicity and the area of logistics and security for our operatives. The international donor agencies are always there to support us, technically as well as financially.
Yeah, but you know, we're a big country, so Kieran, we'll be expecting donor support before we count our people and know how many we are. Chairman, thanks. Prince Ogunshino, you say realistically by the end of second quarter of 2021 you'll be through with the EAD, that's the enumeration area demarcation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the point has also been made that you are awaiting the signaling and proclamation from the President of the Federal Republic.
Yes.
But realistically, when will the nation be ready or can be ready for a national population census?
Well, I think if we are able to finish the enumeration area demarcation by June, July next year, the 6 months after, or because the census preparation will start immediately, and you know, all things being equal, we should be able to have census maybe late next year or first quarter of 2022.
It must be the dry season, by the way.
Yes.
As always been in the past, dry season.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're done with this conversation. We'd like to appreciate both of you for being here this morning to, of course, clear the air and, of course, to give us information on how the MPC plans to, you know, take Nigeria to the next level in terms of population census. So we have to appreciate you once again, Alhaji Nasir Isa Kwara, Chairman, National Population Commission. We thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Prince Joseph Ogunshino, Director, Cartography. It's been a pleasure talking to you this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right. Just before we close, we're going to take sports now.